I can believe in God and still fight for my advocacies because the God that I know fights for the rights
For
of
rights. Oo,
everyone.
totoo yun.
Ganun.
Mapagmahal si God.
It will be hard to have
Equal
equal
outcome.
outcomes, but equal opportunities gets everyone.
Seek first to understand than to be understood. Napakasimple linya, andali. Subukan mo muna silang intindihin kasi mas makakagalaw ka kung paano mo ina-navigate para baguhin yung consciousness nila. Kung naiintindihan mo muna sila kung saan sila nanggagaling eh. Ang mga susunod niyo pong mapapanood ay ang aking pakikipagtalakayan kasama si Ja Quintana, isa pong feminist, advocacy worker at isang musician. Nagtapos po siya ng Communication Arts sa De La Salle University, Manila at kasalukuyan pong nagtatrabaho bilang country manager sa isang tech company. Paalala lamang po, may iba't iba po tayong perspektibo, advokasya, pagkatao at layunin dito sa mundo. Ang mahalaga po ay parating pag-ibig ang ating pairalin. May masasabi po kaming mga mali at mga opinyong hindi kayo sumasang-ayon. Piliin po muna sana nating umintindi at umunawa bago humusga. Pawang 2 tao lamang po kami na nagkikwentuhan at sinusubukang matuto sa isa't isa. Bago po muna ang lahat, pakipindot po muna ang like at subscribe button bilang suporta. Mga minamahal na kapatid, ako po si Baste and this is Epic. Hi Ja!
Hi!
Magandang gabi, kamusta?
Magandang gabi. Okay
Maraming
naman.
salamat sa pagpayag mo sa invitation ko na mag-guest ka. Finally na-schedule na natin 'to kasi talagang first time ko makakapag-guest ng advocate talaga. So parang dati ko rin siyang buhay. So parang excited ako na sa mga mapapag-usapan natin ngayon.
Go.
At punta na kaagad tayo sa unang tanong. Kadalasan nilalagyan namin ng onting bigat yung tanong para lang ma-set yung pace at saka para magkaroon ng hook ba, parang gano'n.
Okay.
So, Ja, para sa unang tanong, bilang ikaw na isa kang feminist at saka social worker ka, di ba? Oo.
Advocacy worker, yeah.
And ngayon, saktong-sakto na Women's Month ngayong March. So, para sa iyo, Ja, in your own perspective, what does it mean to be a woman?
What it means to be a woman is to be a warrior, to hold your ground, to learn how to navigate through the inequalities in life, and knowing when to fight and when to understand. Ganun ko siya
Gets, ganun
nakikita.
ko
And
tingnan,
then,
oo.
kung mas nasa paano ko nakikita yung imahe ng isang babae, warrior talaga. Yung paulit-ulit ko na nakikita. Kasi, yung groundwork ng feminism, nakalubog kasi siya dun sa kagustuhang magkaroon ng pantay-pantay na karapatan, and also more than dun sa equal rights is yung awareness na hindi talaga pantay ang mundo at meron
Well,
din
oo.
at meron din talagang living in a patriarchal system. It's very important to be aware na hindi siya about, lalo na yung woke culture, lahat ng mga na hindi siya about gendering against, like gender against gender.
Yeah.
It's really more of how do you navigate through spaces. Ang dami ng yung the cliche saying na malayo na pero malayo pa. So ganun pa rin yung nakikita ko na as a reminder, ano ba muna yung pinaglalaban natin at bakit natin patuloy itong pinaglalaban, and ano ba yung kagustuhan natin without having to alienate, and more importantly,
Napaka-importante nun,
diba,
mag-alienate. Oo.
Exactly. At saka na hindi mag-away-away just because you're fighting for something that
Yes.
you advocate for.
Napakaganda ng sinabi mo. So kanina nabanggit mo dun, yung mga inequalities na kinakaharap natin, lalo na ng mga babae. So para sa'yo, ano-ano ba yung mga suliraning panlipunan na kinakaharap ng mga kababaihan ngayon sa Pilipinas?
I mean, one of the reasons na, or hindi naman one of the reasons, I think the core kung bakit pinaglalaban ng feminists ang advocacy nila is because when we talk about inequalities, it's the awareness that mas susceptible ang women to abuse,
Gets.
to violence, and that's the whole point of bakit may VAUSI pa rin. Kasi yung VAUSI is you're fighting against violence against women and
Gets.
children.
Okay.
So, the whole point and yung foundation ng bakit may minorities tayo na tinatawag. I
Gets.
mean, as much as ang dami-dami na nating naipanalo at mas marami ng babae na pwedeng in the workplace, lahat na
Yes, oo,
marami na
actually,
talagang
oo.
yung. So, hindi kasi siya tumitingin lang basta sa kung ano yung, for example, yung corporate setting or kung ano ni. Kasi even kahit doon, punta tayo doon, corporate setting, o bakit nakapagtrabaho na agad yung mga babae, mas susceptible pa rin sila sa sexual abuse,
Gets.
harassment, even inequality sa pay. So, nandun pa rin, may mga ganun pa rin. So, that's really what we talk about when it comes to inequalities. Because the more that we are aware, the more that we're able to adjust and protect women. So, mas ganun. Hindi siya about lessening for the rights of men
Gets.
or lessening the rights for the LGBTQIA plus community, but it's really recognizing and being aware na yung inequalities na to nag-e-exist. So, we need to be careful how we navigate, and then more importantly, how do we protect and make sure that those inequalities continue to not happen, or kung nangyayari pa rin siya, paano natin siya maiiwasan or exactly.
Kunyari sa legislation, ano ba yung mga, kasi ako sa totoo lang, hindi rin ako ganun ka-aware sa mga legislation na sinusulong ng mga feminist. Pero kunyari sa legislation ba ngayon, ano pa yung mga, yun nga, yung mga solusyon na ino-offer ng feminist movement para sa mga inequalities na yan?
Okay, so disclaimer lang din. Kasi even though I do advocacy work
Yes.
and I do fight for women's rights also, I will be the first one to say I'm not an expert from a policy side. So I think very important yan para lang din hindi nakikita na what I say are facts or like yun yung. So in terms of what I know sa kaunting kaalaman ko when it comes to women's rights, meron namang lahat ng again, kaya nga ang dami na nating narating. In terms of sa rights, kaya nga may VAUSI, merong pag-protect sa women and children. So, in terms of sa legislation, I think most, if actually lahat naman na nalagay siya sa constitution. It's just a matter of is the implementation or the execution being done well. Kasi marami pa rin tayong instances, lalo na ng domestic abuse. Ganun pa rin. Tapos what you see, and again, I don't know the current numbers, pero I don't know if it's also gonna be surprising to you, pero maraming instances na ang women's harassment and abuse starts from home.
Home talaga.
Talaga.
Actually,
So, parang,
aware ako din actually. Medyo
so,
marami ako
sobrang mabigat siya kasi syempre, we also live in a country where religion is very important.
Yun nga Yun yung irony no? Sa totoo lang ang contradicting nun.
So, kung yung usapin natin na ano pa ba yung mga ginagawa natin sa legislature? I think in terms of sa legislative side,
Okay na.
nagagawa na.
Oo
Meron
nga
naman, may mga pinot naman, and we applaud also yung lahat ng work na ginawa ng lawmakers, 'di ba?
Yes.
Pero ang challenge pa rin right now is the implementation
Totoo.
of it, kasi nga nakikita pa rin natin up until now yung abuses tsaka
Totoo.
yung harassment.
Pero ito ang ko lang din dyan sa bagay na yan. Parang ang hirap din kasi talaga niyang tignan yun dun sa bagay na yung kakupalan ng mga lalaki. Di ba? Kasi parang, how do you really, parang kung titignan natin statistic-wise, talagang mas more likely maging violent ang mga lalaki because of our adrenal glands and probably the testosterone and all. Hindi ko sinasabing dapat yun. Mali talaga yun. Obviously na mali yun. Pero parang in regards lang talaga sa, parang yung sa pagbabago na gusto natin mangyari. As in, constant din siyang tanong sa akin. Paano nga ba pipigilan yung kahit yung mga taong nakapag-aral, pero magugulat ka, may ginagawang katarantaduhan sa loob ng bahay nila.
That is a very tricky question, diba? So, again, disclaimer lang na this is not a fact. This is more of like how I see in terms of how do we propose a solution. Sa dami ng kwentong narinig ko about harassment and abuse, one of the key things that I've noticed is that there is lack of guidance. So, hindi education lang.
Gets.
Of course, education is very important. So, the whole premise of teach men not to rape, right? Or teach men to treat women right. And I think that part needs to continue to be done. Pero I think yung gap din is guiding them towards that. Kasi
Gets.
ang challenge is the consistency of the teaching, right? Kasi yun, kung babalik tayo dun sa yung paano nga kung may gano'n na sinasabi na ang logic is na kasi 'di ba scientifically men have like more tendencies to like, I think we need to also look at how the system and the society are putting steps in order for us to educate better and more effectively. Kasi it's one thing to educate, it's another to ensure that the education
Works.
set works. Exactly. So, I think yun, kasi ang hirap din like, I also don't want to generalize or make assumptions. Kasi what we don't want to happen is na parang it becomes an excuse as to why people in general, so like, okay, in the context of men are violent because it's their nature. I also don't want to be unfair because I have met so many men
Hindi
also
violent.
that
Oo, totoo
exactly.
yan, totoo
So,
yan.
ano yun, tsaka papasok dyan yung, alam ko daming argument about na parang minsan na if you're fighting for, lalo na if you're advocating for certain rights, like for example, women's rights, LGBTQIA rights, does it mean that you're also taking away from the rights of men? No! Also, like, I think that's also an important discussion na I try to not like laser focus on, but when it
Gets.
comes to it na biglang kailangan na kaya mapag-usapan siya. Ang perspektibo ko kasi dun is na we are not taking anything, or it's not less of just because you're fighting for hindi kailangan na may i-take tayo from other people's rights, o kahit in terms of sa culture pa yan, so for example discrimination and everything that you're fighting to like for example Black Lives Matter, hindi ibig sabihin nun because you're fighting for Black lives, ibig sabihin you're alienating or Asian Lives Matter. So like those things, I think it also helps expand the conversation kung
Gets.
bakit na hindi lang siya about na dahil mas violent yung men. Going back na tayo, like
Oo.
tinatahi ko lang pabalik dun
gets.
sa
Oo.
yun. So I think that at least for me, that's how I see through situations like that.
Totoo. Kasi dati ko na talagang tanong yan na parang, yun nga, yung parang labanan ng, ano ba, tatanggapin ko yung human nature ito, talagang dapat natin baguhin, pero parang at the same time, yung mababalitaan mo na professor o teacher, ang re-rape ng estudyante, teacher ka na, ikaw na nga yung naturuan at nakapag-aral talaga ng ano ba yung tama at mali. Tsaka hindi yung tanong ko na parang, ang tagal na nating alam na wag ka mang-rape, wag ka mang-abuso, wag ka mang-gulpi ng babae, kasi, di ba? Pero, may gumagawa pa rin, no? Kaya parang, it's a very complicated thing din talaga.
Oo, tsaka ang daming factors. Kung pag-usapan natin siya lahat, di tayo matatapos.
Oo,
Parang
eh.
mahaba-habang inuman siya. Ibig kasi ano yan, una yung sa nature versus nurture, right? Kung inalagaan ba or nagkulang ba sa gabay versus na is it human nature to be evil? Di ba? So, even dun pa lang ang haba na ng diskusyon. Then, comes the environment that the person is raised, the society that the person was raised also, like and also kung anong bansa, kasi depende sa kung ano yung estado ng bansang yun. So ang daming factors coming into play.
Pero ako, isa lang din sa parang yung sa nasabi mo kanina, yung parang sa legislation na walang aalisin sa lalaki at ano. Meron lang ako isang napansin lang na parang pagdating sa custody rights.
Okay.
Kasi may mga alam din ako mga istorya na alam mo yung tipong syempre pag automatic 'di ba pagka below 8 years old pa ata or 18 ba or na dapat automatic sa babae kagad. 'Di ba yung ang anak pag nagkaroon ng custody pagka nagkahiwalay
Yung lalaki at saka
magulang,
yung
oo.
babae.
Parang kung ilalagay lang din dun minsan, parang napapansin ko, ang dami rin na technically napunta sa toxic parent dahil nagkataong automatic na babae na sobrang abusive. As ginugol pa, may kilala ko, like kinahampas siya ng ABR ng nanay niya. So parang automatic, laging ang napapabor dun sa bagay na yun pagdating sa custody yung babae. Pero at the same time, ang dami ring mga tatay na parang mapagmahal, mabait, sila pa yung niloko, pero sinira yung pagkatao nila sa mata ng mga anak ng mga magulang. So parang dun pagdating lang dun sa legislation, dun lang din ako parang paano kaya maibabalanse yung fact na yun, no?
Actually, that's a good point. Kasi, yes, kaya going back, ito medyo nakatahito sa LGBTQIA rights for me. Kasi, pagdating sa human rights and yung, again, yung mga nababiolate na human rights, hindi siya specific lang sa gender. Both men, women, whatever gender that you have, pwede kang like pwede kang maging biktima, pwede ka ding ikaw yung nagva-violate ng human rights. So going back to your point, kasi babalik tayo sa in terms of kung meron bang mga nakaset na rules and policies sa legislation natin, yes, there is. Is there a need to review and update the legislation? Of course there is. Kasi merong mga bagay, example na lang, pupunta tayo sa annulment and divorce. Like, so going back to
sige,
this,
ikaw, kumatanong ko lang.
I am for.
For divorce ka ba?
I am for
Yeah, so
divorce. Kasi, so going back dun sa yung, kasi I really like the point that you raised kasi important yun na, for example, katulad dun sa, in particular sa situation na yun na hindi necessarily na the woman is the one who is nurturing, correct? Kasi, so, I think, and again, hindi ako expert in this, but I think, like one of my theories kung bakit may foundation baka psychology wise, maraming factors taken into consideration na scientifically, again going back kasi ayoko lang na mag-make ng wrong sharing ng fact. Exactly. Kaya I'm very careful when it comes to that. Pero ang theory ko lang is na usually kasi 'di ba may mother's nurturing so na baka nandun yung foundation ng law na parang most of the time because galing sa sinapupunan ng babae, the same way na kahit sa animal kingdom 'di ba na parang kailangan at saka kailangan nung anak yung nanay niya. Pero when situations such as what you've shared happens, that means there is a need to do better filtering of how do we protect, how do we make sure that the parent or the custody rights ay napupunta dun sa parent na deserving, talagang exactly kung baga quote and quote deserving in terms of kasi in terms of sa justice system natin mas kung ano yung considered as fair, kung ano yung mag-fall dun sa parameters na ito ay konsiderasyon na ito yung kailangan mong requirements in order for you to become a good parent basically in terms of para makuha mo yung custody, be able to financially provide, you're in an environment, you have a home, that yung mga ganon, lahat na ibig sabihin there needs to be a review on that kasi para hindi nangyayari yung situation such as yung kakasabi mo lang na falling into the hands of a parent who's abusive.
Gets,
diba?
Punta lang tayo ng onte, atras tayo ng onte para kung dun sa yung mga nasabi mo ang inequalities and mga social problems natin, yung mga societal problems na kinakaharap ng mga babae at saka mga LGBTQ. Hindi, sa LGBTQ medyo alam na, mamaya tayo pumunta doon. Pero sa mga kababaihan muna, saan kaya nag-ugat yun sa tingin mo?
Yung pag-violate ng rights?
Hindi, yung mga inequalities na yun, saan nag-ugat?
I think it comes from, kasi, wow, naisip ko tuloy bigla, parang siyang chicken or egg problem.
Gets.
So, hindi ko alam kung paano siya nagsimula completely historically. But I do think that it comes from a history of paulit-ulit of experiences na from inaunang times pa na objectified and then like hindi equal beings. Kasi kung titignan mo siya from a religion, galing sa Like si Adam muna yung kung religion natin titingnan na
Actually,
lagi mong
malaking factor si religion. Kung
'di
bakit
ba?
ganito
Kasi
eh.
kung doon kung yun na ang pagbabasehan mo ng pundasyon mo bilang isang tao, then the history comes from the Bible na ang lalaki ay ang naggagabay sa relasyon, siya ang guiding light, siya yung as woman, follow your husband. Di ba? Even dun sa, when it comes to marriage na, always follow and be obedient to your husband. So,
Oo.
dun nanggagaling history na pag naabuso yon at nagkaroon ng, so the thinking na, so religious tayo na side na foundation, ang thinking is that the man is always right.
Gets.
Or at least like baka dun nag-start yung ngayon naman kung nasa science part ka.
Yeah. Yun na yun.
Let's just say, babalik tayo dun sa yung kanina din pinag-usapan natin na because men are stronger, they can protect women, but also that means
They
on
can
the
hurt.
flip side, yes, that it they can hurt women.
Na parang kahit, yun nga, actually, yun yung pinaka sad, pero syempre, lalaki ako. So, parang, ang sad nga, na parang kasi, kahit anong pag-usapan nyo, kunyari, kahit dati, kahit anong pag-usapan nyo, kahit anong disagreement yung isang lalaki at isang babae, kahit sobrang logical ni babae, mapikon si lalaki, mas malakas ako sa'yo, ang hirap na, di ba?
Yeah, tsaka,
Kaya,
yeah, tapos balik tayo sa human side na survival of the fittest also. So, nandun din yung pwedeng nag-cycle, doon nagsimula na may gano'n, kung pupunta tayo dun sa science part din.
So ito naman, paano, di ba, itong Pilipinas, very religious country eh. Ikaw, paano mo naman nung nagsisimula ka sa advocacy work mo? Paano mo pinagtatahi yung roots mo bilang isang Katoliko? Na ganun ang mga paniniwala at paano ka biglang nag-transition for yung pagiging liberal?
Okay. So, ito, ikukwento ko na yung kung paano ako nag-start na mas mamulat, kumbaga. So, for background din, yung advocacy work that I'm doing or I've done before, lahat siya, ang pundasyon niya is my art. So, music talaga. So, I write songs that talk about social-political issues.
Akong gig ni dyan.
And then, aside from the music itself, I also do talks, basically, to try and use overall mass communication arts as a way to talk about the advocacies that we're fighting for. Now, it was very difficult for me kasi nung mas bata pa ako, okay, sa suma, babe, I'll simplify it. Super religious ako dati. Bakit ko sasabi dati? Kasi, nung mas nagbabasa ako ng Bible, may time pa na gusto ko, ang dream ko sa buhay ko, ang goal ko in my life. As in, super bata pa, siguro mga 5 years old, siguro 6, bakit di ba 3, mga 5, 6 years old, na gusto ko maging santa. Ganong level. Tapos sabi ko, ay, hirap ata. So, maging madre. Ganong level yung pag-ibig ko sa Diyos, basically. And then I started reading a lot of the Bible and everything. That's when I started questioning. Because what I read and how I interpret it, is not what I see in real life.
Yeah.
Tapos parang doon ako nagsimula na, kung lalo na doon talaga nagsimula na, kung talagang selfless si God, may ganun ako sa selfless, bakit maling magmahal ng same gender? Parang, paano naging mali ang umibig? Ganun na, doon siya nag-start. Doon ako nag-start na, tapos, bakit meron tayong pagpataw ng kung sino yung mas deserve magkaroon ng justice versus bakit yung mayayaman, yung hustisya, ganito yung itsura. Pero so again, dun na nag-start. When I started questioning, that's when I started getting into the advocacy work. Kasi that's when I realized that what you read in the Bible is not exactly it's really based on human interpretation. Tapos, at least the God that I know. So now, I identify more as someone who's highly spiritual. Sa akin, ang tingin ko sa Diyos ay nakikita niya lahat. Kung meron mang higher being or wala. Again, kasi balik dun sa, kung meron man o wala, anong mawawala sa'yo kung maniwala ka? So,
Oo.
dun muna. Tapos, kung totoong may Diyos or wala, at kung meron mang afterlife or kung wala mang afterlife, gusto ko na kung ano man yung buhay na meron ako, kung paano ako sa lahat, ganun din ako dapat kung paano yung relasyon ko sa kung merong mang higher being.
Totoo
So
yan.
sa akin, hindi ko nakikita na ang highest form of prayer is going to church.
Yeah.
Sa akin, ang highest form of prayer
Service.
is, yes, serbisyo, but more importantly, na kaya mong kausapin either God or kung sino pa man yung higher being sa kahit anong oras. Kahit anong panahon, kahit nasa banyo ka. Kasi kahit kung paano ka magsalita sa kung sino yung mga kausap mo, ng mga kaibigan mo, katrabaho mo, ganun mo din kausapin yung God mo. So,
Totoo
tas
yan.
yun, and more importantly sa akin, yung God ko, hindi siya namimili na, hindi siya selective na, ikaw isasalba kita, ikaw hindi. Like, so dun ako nag-start. So, going back dun sa, paano ko na pagtatahi, paano ko nakikita na, I can believe in God and still fight for my advocacies because the God that I know fights for the rights of everyone.
Oo, totoo
Ganun.
yan. Mapagmahal si God. Oo.
And forgiving and love your neighbor even though you hate your neighbor. Like, ganun siya na parang pwedeng hindi mo magustuhan lahat ng tao. Hindi pala pwede. Talagang nangyayari na hindi mo
hindi
magugustuhan ng lahat. Tapos, more importantly, kahit makakilala ka ng taong pumatay, nagmassacre ng pamilya, sa akin, sobrang sakit nun. Kung mas bata mo akong tinanong, very dogmatic and very close-minded and self-righteous na hindi mo deserve mabuhay. Mas ganun. Pero, because of religion, technically, and how I understand religion and how I lived it, naniniwala ko na kahit ang taong ng massacre deserves due process.
Yeah.
Doon ako babalik na kahit gaano kasakit, na dumating siya sa point na, of course, hindi ko siya ever malalaman. So, sana never ko siyang malaman na kung mangyari man siya sa akin, ang gagawin ko ba eye for an eye? No. Like, sa akin, nandun pa rin ako sa due process tayo. Kasi lahat ng tao deserve na.
Deserve yun eh.
Yun. So, dun ko siya natatahi together na kahit religion, in a country that religion is very important,
Oo.
'di ba? As part of, na dapat nga, hiwalay ang religion tsaka state. Pero
Dapat,
lahat ng
Hindi,
affairs,
dito, hindi,
ganun. So, sa akin, I don't have to see it as an either-or situation. I see it as an and. A and D. As in, you can be religious and be an activist or be an advocate for the rights of everyone. Ganun.
Actually, para sa akin, kung talaga mahal mo si God at talaga mapagmahal kang tao, dapat at pinaglalaban mo yung karapatan ng iba. Kasi
Exactly!
yun yung pagmamahal eh. Di ba? Na you're doing something beyond yourself eh. Di ba? Parang
Yes!
Tsaka ito lang, may bigay ko lang yung sense ko dun na, yun dun na sinabi mo na si God. Akin naman, ang ano ko dun, is yun nga yung sinabi mo kanina na, yung maniwala ka o hindi, pag naniwala ka, kung wala o meron, panalo ka. Sa akin, yun din yung akin, kinokontra ko yun. Kasi parang, para sa akin, yung God ko or si God na kilala ko, hindi narcissist. So parang hindi importante sa kanya na niluluhuran mo siya, na pinipraise mo siya, kinakantahan mo siya.
I agree to that.
Hindi niya kailangang i-test kung gaano ka ka-faithful sa kanya kasi katulad yun, yung mga ginawa niya kay Job, ginawa niya kay Abraham, kay Isaac. Ano, para lang malaman niya kung gaano ka patay na patay sa'yo yung tao. Parang gaano ka obsessed sa'yo yung tao, tetest mo na itetest. Parang ka narcissist, di ba? So parang, para sa akin, ang pinaka-message ni God talaga is para sa akin, actually, hindi nga message eh. Si God and love, isa lang sila. So parang ang point ko is, kung magiging mapagmahal ako sa lahat ng gagawin ko sa paligid, hindi na nagmamatter kay God kung lumuluhod ba ako sa Kanya, kung kinakantahan ko siya, kung sinasabi ko mahal na mahal ko siya. Kasi yung sinasabi mo, kung ano yung pinapakita ko sa mga tao sa kapwa ko, yun na rin yung pakikitungo ko kay God eh. So para sa akin, hindi na nagmamatter kung talagang all good si God, like omnibenevolent siya. Like hindi na nagmamatter kung naniniwala ba ako sa Kanya, kung kumakanta ba ako ng ganyan. Importante, maging mabait kang tao, di ba? Parang eh.
Agree. Kasi, just to share din yung sa akin. Kasi, may time din na, hindi na ako niniwala. So parang, I'm coming from a perspective na, kung meron man o wala, piliing mong maging mabuti.
Totoo yun.
So sa akin, kaya ako sinasabi kanina na panalo, win siya na situation. It's not a competition. It is with yourself. It's really realizing na you're making a decision every day na piliing maging mabuti. Tapos, favorite ko tong sinasabi. And I love language so much kasi magkaiba ang mabait sa mabuti. And you can be nice and not good and kind.
Totoo yun.
And I'd always choose and I'll try my best all the time to be good, to be kind. And yun yung paulit-ulit ko na naman yung sarili ko na kung meron mang God at kung wala man, ang goal mo talaga is na pagsumikapan mong maging mabuti. Ganon. So like, mas ganon ako. Tapos, yun in itself, kung naniniwala ka man, is a reflection of the God that you think there is. Ganon. So, yun. Wala lang. Since na-share mo kanina. So, I think same naman. Magkaiba lang yung way that we articulate it. Pero ganun
same
yung,
talaga.
yes,
Actually.
exactly.
Yun nga kasi yun na napansin ko sa dichotomy, na hindi man, actually, first dichotomy, yung mga spiritual people sa religious people. Kasi ang pinagkaiba ng mga religious peoples, sinarado nila yung...
Dogmatic.
Dogmatic. Sinarado nila yung sarili nila dun sa dogma. Ang mga spiritual, patuloy na nagsasaliksik dun sa spirituality nila. Na patuloy nilang hinahanap mong ano bang role ko dito sa mundo. Parang yun ang nakita ko na...
Yes. Tapos, oh my gosh, sorry, na-excite
sige.
ako. Based dun sa yung pinag-uusapan natin. Then, sobrang nakatahi kasi siya dun sa advocacies ko tsaka sa music that I make. Kasi sa akin, the way I see it is that one of the things that I see kung bakit sobrang daming animosity right now or like, ang bilis ng cancel culture, lahat ng... Kasi na we have become the thing that we hate most.
Totoo yan.
Same yung dun sa katulad kanina na parang we have also been obsessed. When I say we, I don't see it only as a generation. We as people, as human beings. And it is a combination of the technology, the systems that we are in, pero we've been so obsessed with labeling things, canceling things if they're not the same.
Totoo yun.
So, yung mga bagay na pinaglaban natin dati, historically, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, that's what scares me a lot because we almost parang nakalimutan na parang we're letting history repeat itself talaga. Kasi, the more that we alienate people, babalik tayo, dun yung sinasabi ko kanina, the more that we alienate people at na sinasabi kong, ikaw, iba ka kasi sa akin. So, pero yung when we say different doesn't necessarily mean magkaaway tayo. Difference is magkaiba. Sorry, sobrang love ko talaga yung languages in terms of magkaiba doesn't mean na magkaaway tayo. Magkaiba yun. So, parang, so the same way that instead of alienating people na hindi mo kasi alam yung human rights, hindi mo kasi alam yung LGBT rights or hindi mo alam yung women's rights so wala kang karapatan. The same way na hindi mo ako naiintindihan kasi lalaki ako at babae ka. The more that we do that, the more that we're actually like towards doom ng tao. Kasi
separation.
So sa akin, nakita ko when I try to create what I try to create with my music and when I talk about advocacies, I really look at it as lumubog ka sa pundasyon na meron ka and welcome people in. And it's up to them if they want to enter.
Oo. Tsaka sa akin, try. Try to educate them. Pero not enforce them. Parang gano'n.
Yes! So, diba? Describe, not prescribe. So, ganun din sa music, diba? Pati sa art or like, sa kahit anong ginagawa mo. Kasi sa songwriting, one of I consider as mentors, which is si Guy Granada, si Sir Ga. Like, sobrang, nung isa sa mga songwriting classes niya, yun yung hanggang ngayon nakatatak sa akin na aim to describe, not prescribe. Kasi the more that you prescribe, it's like saying na ito magpapagaling sa'yo. Ito yung kailangan mong gawin. Tapos people get also allergic to that. Kasi parang, kasi baba ka sa high horse mo. Kasi lahat naman tayo ay imperfecto. Diba? Like parang hindi naman, like, so it's just a matter of describing kung ano yung sitwasyon na meron ka, kung ano yung kalagayan na kung saan ka nang gagaling in the hopes to make people empathize with you kung na matutunan din nilang tumayo sa kinalalagyan ng iba. But not so much about na ito ang dapat mong gawin. Tapos, syempre, of course, may instances when we're fighting for our advocacies na meron kang gising, pero hindi para magsabi, no, kasi ito yung tama, tas yan mali yan.
Totoo yun.
So,
Discourse pa rin dapat lagi.
Oo, very pa rin, Tas, wag mong pagsumikapan kasi the more that people feel like, degraded, na the more that they won't kasi magiging defensive na sila. Lalo na ang Pinoy, ang hilig, sobrang racist o kaya sobrang makapag-discriminate, pero pag pikon. Pero
pikon
pag tayo
talaga.
na yung, pag ikaw na yung kinansyawan, biglang galit na agad.
Totoo. Yung ma-share ko lang po doon sa sinabi ni Jack kanina, yun nga, alienation. Parang kung sa simpleng example lang, kunyari mga feminist po, siyempre, pinaglalaban nga nila yung women's rights. Tsaka, kasi totoo naman, sobrang unequal talaga naman ng society natin. Lalong na dati na talagang lalaki, male-dominated society talaga sa dati. Pero nung nagkakaroon nga ng waves of feminism, yun nga, yung sinabi mo alienation, ang daming naging man-hater. Na parang nakatutuwa nga ako doon sa sinabi mo na kasi hindi talaga yun yung point Kasi kung magkakagalit tayo.
Tas sayang yung foundation ng feminism. Kasi basically, I don't wanna say it as fake feminism. Pero sinasabi ko pa rin siya out loud. So sorry guys. Pero we need to take a step back and then review ulit kung ano yung foundation. Kasi it's also the reason why there's also hate. Naman, na parang, so tas nagkakaroon tuloy ng stereotype or ng assumption na pag feminist ka, man-hater ka. Tas no, that is not the point. That is not the foundation of feminism. Feminism is about having the same rights. Diba? Hindi na, I hate men. Tas yun, nagkaroon na ng
parang ano ba yan? Di ko lang alam, sa history ata ng feminism, parang sa third wave ata nangyari yun no?
I am not sure. I don't know if it was the third wave, fourth wave. Pero definitely somewhere along the way, something happened that was not the right kind. Na it's not about man-hating. Kasi yun yung misconception na tuloy. Parang dahil nagkaroon ng ganun, it's not about hating men. It's about making men understand that we need the same rights. Diba? Parang ito a little bit, babalik ako ulit sa advocacy na there's equality, diba? Then there's equity. Equity, very important. Kasi equity is about taking into consideration everything na meron yung isang tao. So, kunwari tayong dalawa. Tas kunwari, PWD ako, right? Na meron akong kapansanan na kailangan ibig sabihin, mas may kailangan akong suporta sa mga ibang bagay or sa ibang aspeto ng buhay kaysa sa'yo. Equity is about making sure both of us gets the same access. So, getting the same access doesn't mean na, pares ko kayo bibigyan ng 50,000. Hindi. Kasi yung 50,000 sa'yo, kung kunwari lang, dahil nga hindi ka naman PWD, is enough to, for example, buy your meds, yung pang-araw-araw mo. Pero ako, as a PWD, yung technically yung gamot ko, let's say, plus 10,000 yung kailangan, plus 15. So, equity is not about, I'm trying to simplify it.
Sige.
I don't know na baka syempre, again, hindi naman perfect the way yung logic ko, but the way I see it is that, ibig sabihin, ang equity is trying to make sure that both of us have the same healthcare. So, ibig sabihin, it's also understanding na ang healthcare mo na needs mo, 50,000, in order to have that equal benefits, the government needs to give me 65. So ganun yung it does, for example, someone who can't or height wise is not able to reach will not dapat hindi din same yung Grabe, very dapat. Very, so, pero as I mentioned, hindi kasi matarating na ko kunwari, okay, parehas yung makukuha. Example, going back. Makakuha niyo yung food nyo sa second floor. Tapos sa second floor, para maabot mo yung food mo is 6 feet. Pero yung isang tao, 4 feet lang siya, hindi niya makukuha yung pagkain niya. So, kahit equal kayo na nakakuha ng food, hindi naman niya makukuha yung food niya kasi hindi nabigay yung right tools sa kanya in order for him or her to get the food. So, ganun yung so yun nagmamatter din.
Parang
yun sa akin.
equity, hindi pareho base sa pangangailangan. No?
Base sa pangangailangan. Kasi the same in ang healthcare ay iba-iba. So, i-customize mo siya sa kung ano yung pangangailangan ng mga tao. Diba? So, gano'n.
Isa lang na parang ako napansin ko dyan sa... technically, labanan niya ng ano no? Parang, ano ba? Para sa'yo, equal outcomes or versus equal opportunities?
Equal opportunities.
Kita. Ang ganda.
Because it's not that there's no such thing as equal outcomes. But going back then sa conversation on equity, it's one thing to get to a point na magkaroon tayo ng equality. It's another to make sure that, I think baka mas okay siyang pag-usapan when it comes to human rights. Okay, so lahat tayo may human rights. And the reality that we're in, and sometimes because human rights is a concept that people cannot grasp as much, they assume na puro kayo human rights, ano pang gagawin ko dyan ko naman yung makakain. The reality is, the whole point of you being able to eat is a right, is a human right. Yun yung pinaglalaban natin. Pero dahil minsan yung mga lumalaban for human rights ay nasa echo chambers, tapos sila na lang din yung nag-uusap. Na-alienate nila yung actual. So, balik na naman tayo sa alienation. Na-alienate nila yung mga taong actual na need. So, just going back to the conversation na there's no such... Okay, hindi naman there's no such thing as equal outcomes. But because people are different from each other and the state of life and the economic state, socio-political state is different from each other, it will be hard to have equal outcomes. But equal opportunities gets everyone through the door. So was doon ko siya nakikita na hindi siya, just to be clear, hindi siya kumbaya-kumbaya lang tayo maging hapon nila tayo equal tayo lang. Hindi yung sinasabi ko. I mean, that's very idealistic.
Idealistic yun.
Diba? Realistic naman ako as a person. Sometimes I feel ko bleak ako mag-isip. Pero in order for us to be able to at least have a chance to have good outcomes,
yun, yung chance to
we
have good
need
outcome.
to have equal opportunities for all.
Talaga.
Yun.
Ako rin, sobrang pro ko sa yun nga, sa equal opportunities talaga. Kasi parang sa akin nga, ang hirap din naman, kunyari, ilagay lang natin sa simpleng term, kunyari, sa basketball. Lagi kong example to na kunyari, kung si LeBron James, naturally, gifted siya, matangkad siya, magaling siya. Tapos kung merong kung i-equal outcome natin siya, kahit yung pinakamahinang basketball player sa NBA, kung equal outcome siya, dapat pareho silang kita. Kaso, naturally parang disservice kay LeBron yun kasi naturally hindi naman niya kasalanan na mas magaling siya maglaro So parang that yung nabibigay niya nabibigay niya sa entertainment, nabibigay niya sa NBA, yung demand and supply ba, na kumbaga dapat karapatan niya rin talagang mas malaki yung kitain niya kasi mas magaling siya. So at the same time, parang yun din yung parang inaano ko na at least kung equal opportunities, pare-pareho kayo binigyan ng chance maging magaling sa NBA. Pero kung ano yung marireceive nyo, syempre, depende na sa resulta na pinapakita nyo. Parang gano'n.
Shucks, nalala ko yung conversation. Pero medyo
Sige.
mapupunta sa anarkiya Wow,
sige.
Pero diba, it's self-governing kasi ang foundation naman ng anarchy. Like kasi ang misconception naman, anarchy is gulo, walang gobyerno. Yan ang misconception. Kasi merong instances in the... Okay, so baka hindi naman misconception.
Sige.
In the past, yung encounters with anarchy is na parang magulo lahat. Pero it all goes back to self-governing also.
Self-governing,
Actually, yun yung
oh.
foundation eh. Tapos, ang hirap lang kasi, kung magsa-self-governing tayo, di at least it's communities. Tapos again, wala akong pakialam masyado sa kung ano yung meron ka. Kasi as long as lahat tayo meron. Kasi
yun.
we're gonna touch dun sa equal opportunities eh. Kung lahat tayo ay natatamasa natin yung same opportunities, then if we are given the same opportunities, then it's up to us if we want to do more in order to have better outcomes.
Yeah,
So,
oo.
kaya ako nag-smile ako kanina nung excited kasi naalala ko yung conversation ko regarding specifically on anarchy. Na parang ganun yung, na also, okay lang na wala tayong pakialam sa isa't isa.
Oo.
Hindi tayo united by one government.
Oo.
As long as lahat tayo merong pantay-pantay na opportunities.
Totoo yun.
Tapos kasi nung tinanong ko yung specific na question, pero paano yun kung mas gusto mong umangat
Oo.
or like
Mas
gusto
driven
mong
ka.
gumaling, di do more, pero at least lahat kayo came from the same starting point.
Yun ang importante.
Diba?
Came
Yun
from
ang-
the same starting point.
Kung
Oo.
gusto mo ng better outcomes, correct, gusto mo mas marami kang pera or mas marami kang crops or mas marami kang magawang kanta, then go and do the work and then have better outcomes.
Totoo.
Pero ang challenge kasi ngayon is na hindi nga equal yung opportunities for
Oo.
everyone. Kasi again, wala, parang ang point yan nung sinagot niya ako is na walang it doesn't really matter kung ano yung gusto mong gawin, kung gusto mo to do more, kasi ang goal doon at least is that everyone got to have the same word. Tapos ganun din yung human rights na if everyone is able to experience the right to education, the right to good health care, then that means no one would have to go and constantly compare na bakit yung mga mayayaman, pagka kinailangan sila, mas may chance pa silang mabuhay kaysa sa amin kaming mahihirap dahil walang healthcare sa Pilipinas.
Oo.
Pero kung lahat free healthcare or if there's a working system sa healthcare natin, then that means also people get the same right to actually be 'di ba, na be cured or basically be
Healthy.
looked for, to be healthy, yun.
May ano ko lang diyan, may pasok ko lang diyan yung factor na kasi yun nga, so kumbaga kung meron ngang natural inequality, I mean, alisin na natin yung lahat ng
Yung sa equal
ng
opportunities.
inimpose ng society ay ng structures. Yung mismo nga yung kunyari natural na mas matalino, tsaka mas matangkad, mas ganyan. Syempre mas marami siyang advantages talaga. Paano kasi ang resources natin limited di ba? So ako as in legit curiosity to Kung limited ang resources and meron mga taong kahit bigyan mo ng equal opportunities, is may few people na pwedeng sila yung makakuha ng most of the resources. So, paano ba ina-navigate yung fact na yun na parang kahit kunyari kung sakaling magkaroon ng equal opportunities, parang possible pa rin magkaroon ng intense inequality pa rin.
I think it's coming from because I don't necessarily agree.
Okay, sige.
I do think na if there are equal opportunities, the likelihood of inequality, hindi naman likelihood, pero the inequality will definitely go down. Like, kasi the current state that we're in, kasi you cannot remove the system from itself. Kasi we are all in the system. And kaya nga nag-aaway-aaway yung mga tao. Kasi basically the system isn't working, pero ang ginagawa is yung mga tao yung pinag-aaway-aaway mo, pero ang reality dapat ang sinisingil mo yung sistema.
Totoo.
Correct? Kasi aanhin naman ng bawat tao. Hindi mo kasalanan. Isang tao ka lang. Isang tao lang ako. What really needs to change is the system. So, kung aayusin natin yung sistema, we're gonna get there closer to what we're aspiring for. So, kaya hindi ako, I beg to disagree na pagka may equal opportunities pa rin, paano yun, meron talagang mataas na inequality pa rin. I would say na definitely within those, meron pa rin mangyayaring inequality, but I do think it's significantly gonna go down.
Gets. Kasi ito, may example ko lang, kunyari. Ako, kahit sa ano na lang, sa na-experience ko sa dati kong corporate job,
Okay.
kahit sa mismong experience ko, iba rin talaga ako. Hindi ko alam kung dahil ba nga sa testosterone niya, kasi ang testosterone may effect siya na medyo, totoo yun, this is a fact na parang may effect siya sa mood ng lalaki, na pag mataas ang testosterone level mo, mas nag-enjoy ka sa suffering. So, mas nag-enjoy ka sa may hirap na bagay, mas nag-enjoy ka sa struggle, kaya nga yung mga nag-gym, di ba, parang ang hirap nun, pero may dopamine sila pagkatapos. So, parang ako, na-obserbahan ko, hindi ko nila lahat, kasi maraming driven na babae, maraming competitive na babae, maraming magaling na babae. Pero, sa nakita ko, sa karamihan, talaga kunyari, kung sa workplace nila, kung magkakaroon man ng, hindi, sa pay gap kasi, yun yung, isa rin sa tanong ko, kung gets ko yung pay gap, is pareho ko yung standard. Pero kung yung pay gap na kunyari, kasi mas marami kang, mas ginul mong ma-promote, mas ginul mo na dumiskarte, mas ginul mo na technically, pangit man, sumipsip sa boss. Parang, though pareho talaga kayo ng basic pay, pero dahil pinilit na kung merong isang grupo, or ano man, na parang lagi naglilin dun yung competitiveness nila, and sila rin yung in return na nagkakaroon ng more resources. Paano nga ba yun? Paano ba natin yun nga, yung sa sinasabi mo na kung pareho sila may opportunities, paano mo naman lalaban yung motivation naman ng tao?
I'm not sure kung nakukuha ko yung example, but so correct me if I'm
Sige
wrong.
lang.
Kasi, I think pagdating sa ganun, babalik siya sa system. So, ibig sabihin dun sa corporate work mo, ang may mali is yung sistema nung kumpanya.
Like,
Kasi
kunyari,
ibig sabihin, hindi nagtumitingin doon sa actual, kumbaga, in terms of yung requirements for the job. Kasi kung titingnan mo talaga yung requirements for the job at parehas silang ng position, regardless kung sumisip-sip siya at hindi siya sumisip-sip, kung parehas naman silang magaling, then the system itself should be giving the equal opportunity for them to parehas grow. At that's kung nakigets ko yung example mo, ha.
oo.
Kasi pag ganun, ang nangyayari dyan is ang tendency ng tao is to see it as, kaya siya siguro na-promote kasi sumipsip siya.
Hindi naman sumipsip. Hindi, ako kasi bilang negosyante, view ko lang. Ano lang yung sip-sip term, term lang yun. Pero, sa akin kasi, okay lang din naman talaga sumipsip sa boss kung totoo ka. Like, totoo kang gusto mo talaga siyang pagsilbihan. Kasi, talaga, para
okay.
mapansin ka, para ma-promote ka, kailangan talaga may extra mile kang gagawin.
Yeah, kasi going back to that, if the company, sorry na-excite ako to do a situation-based
Sige.
application,
Example.
basically. Kasi, na kung ganun, then, if sana yung system ng kumpanya is that each person who has been in the company in the last 2 years and has performed ng XYZ will get promoted, then regardless kung sobrang lapit ng tao at like eager siya na makipag-interact more sa boss versus yung hindi, para silang may equal opportunities to get to the next level. Tapos kung ayaw man nung isang member, isang team member, kasi may tinatawag din na kung gusto mo bang maging generalist or specialist. So, ang nakikita mo bang growth is vertical, paakyat, or lateral. So, pag ganun.
Lateral,
So,
palawak.
pag ganun, kung yung system allows the employees to do so, then, hindi mo makikita na may napag-iiwanan kasi ibig sabihin, parehas silang nabibigyan ng opportunities for that. At nafe-filter din yung mga taong hindi nagpo-perform. Kasi kung hindi ka talaga nagpo-perform, sip-sip ka man o hindi. Again, going back tayo dun sa term na,
Okay.
diba? Di ba ano din sila? Kasi, pero I get what you mean kasi usually talaga, it's the talk, the PR that gets the,
Kahit
the helps
alisin na natin
with-
yung, kunyari, yung sip-sip na sinabi ko. I mean, you just choose to do the extra
Extra
mile.
mile. Yes,
Oo.
yes, yes, yes.
So para talagang naturally magkakaroon ng inequality rin dun sa nangyayari sa inyo. So parang ayun lang din, yung parang mga tanong lang din na parang kasi kunyari ayun nga yung sa nakikita ko nga sa work na marami rin talaga na parang ako napansin sa I mean sa mga babae ko nakita sa work din
Mm.
na yung sa trabaho nila mas mas gusto nila yung peace. Mas gusto nila yung kasi 'di ba pagka naging magaling ka na sa trabaho mo and medyo pinili mo rin doon na lang at kabisado mo na siyang kayang-kaya mo na siya, mas magiging peaceful buhay mo, eh. Mas mahirap ang buhay na may ini-struggle ka, eh, may hinahabol ka and maraming babae na mas gusto 'yun. So parang naturally kung ang mga kung di ko gine-generalize, pero kung majority ng lalaki is nandito sa gusto namin mag-struggle, gusto namin ma-reach, gusto namin may may marating na mas malaki and willing kami talaga magpakahirap, kung ano man, makipag-compete, ayun nga, naturally ang lalaki rin competitive talaga, eh. So parang kung majority rin ano yun, yung nurturing nature ng babae, yung peaceful, yung non-violent ng babae or yung non-aggressiveness ng babae,
Mm.
naglilin yun dun sa peace nga ng kung may sinasahod naman ako na tama na sa akin, na okay na ako dito, buhay na ako dito, peaceful na ako sa trabaho ko,
Mm.
and yun ang pipiliin ko. Yun yung better para sa akin. Pero yung bagay na yun, yung dalawang decision na yun, pagdating sa pay and pagdating sa resources, malaking inequality yung maidudulot nung bagay na yun. Parang yun. Oo. Pero sige.
Kasi pumapasok din kasi siya sa preferences naman. Kasi I know that you're not generalizing, but
Oo.
I think I might be wrong, so
Gets.
take it with a grain of salt. There is also a bias or a preconceived notion dun sa statements or the situation because I think settling, yun nga, yun kasi minsan merong tingin na pag you want peace of mind or like, ibig sabihin hindi mo na gustong mangarap ng mas like, na para maghirap ako, mag-hustle ako, mag-struggle ako para may marating ako. Hindi naman, kaya nga may the whole point of like work smart, not work hard it comes to play. Kasi it goes back to the competencies. Now, kung meron naman na situation where a woman or a man or kung sino man na mas gusto nila na tahimik, like bare minimum, kung baga, or like
Oo.
I will not also take that against
Oh,
them because
totoo
kung
naman
as long as
talaga.
they're meeting the work and that's really what they want, edi clearly,
Oo.
then I wouldn't take it as inequality. It becomes now a choice.
Choice nga. Ayun,
So
totoo.
so it is a decision that they make every day that I know that I will also not grow in a corporate setting kasi nandun tayo na I will also not get promoted or get higher pay kasi ayoko din ng more work. Then that means like I don't think it's inequality. I think it's just a byproduct of preference.
Yes,
So for
oo.
example, kasi going back to your point kanina naman dun sa testosterone. I get that kasi nga the whole point of like for example yung sa wood 'di ba sa woodwork
chopping.
wood chopping, may actual yun nabasa ko yun na may actual studies that it increases testosterone. And then, more importantly, because of that. So, kaya lifting and everything. And then, it also helps you like,
Yeah,
gain. So, definitely, I agree. In terms of dun sa yung may competitiveness. But, so, babalik ako dun sa na, at least because dahil may opportunities now ako to see how the testosterone and estrogen help out, and then that means like knowing the science helps you navigate through your emotions.
totoo.
Kasi for example, I'd beg to disagree
Sige,
na
sige.
men are just like most of them like are just like hustling and then para umakit din sa taas. And I know that's not what you mean,
yeah.
but I know that there are instances na ganun yung nakikita na parang men are designed or made to provide or na sila yung provider sila. So, anong problema doon? Ang problema doon is more na sorry, ang dami nating tinatahing topics. But that's really what I
Yan
see.
ang point
Diba?
na itong podcast
Diba,
na to.
na that means there is something wrong with how we take care of our men. There is a need to sorry, para lang sure na ma-clear kung ba't ko siya tinahi sa testosterone o estrogen.
sige.
Or in this is like balancing that. Kasi hormones, di ba, and everything na parang, again, please do not take this as a fact. This is just me, like, how I observe it as it is, things that I read. Na also, na bigyan natin ng opportunities for men to be able to be more comfortable with emotions,
Yes.
for them to cry, that it's okay for them to always not be the provider, to empower them that they can be more than just providing for the family, being able to
Yung mga
hustle.
expectations sa
Mga ganun.
lalaki,
Kasi bunga siya byproduct siya ng system
Social,
ng society na the society has set na ang lalaki, kailangan, ikaw ang provider, kailangan mas mataas yung sweldo mo, kailangan makakapag-provide ka ng bahay, like, yes,
Malaking pressure din
diba?
yun, sa
Tapos
totoo lang.
alam ko na there has been progress na men are more in touch with their feminine side. But the reality is, hindi pa siya mainstream. Hindi pa siya yung, sorry, ang pangit ng mainstream, hindi pa siya yung nararanasan ng lahat. There are certain circles that are like, it's getting bigger, but it's not what's the normal considered for everyone. So, nakikita mo pa rin, lalo na sa Pilipinas, kasi babalik naman tayo sa religion, na ganun pa rin na ang lalaki ay malakas, ang lalaki ay taga-right. So, kaya nagkakaroon din ng tendency na pagtatahi-tahi na kasi yung mga babae ganito, kasi nandun na sa religion, tas yung men, hindi sila nabibigyan ng chance to be in touch with their emotions. So, they grow up resenting and also
Resenting,
like
kaya
na
nagiging
parang
violent eh.
exactly na or may feeling or like sorry ang pangit tong exactly, not to generalize guys, but like there is a tendency tuloy na hindi sila ever nabibigyan may tendency tuloy sila not to be able to release, tapos may long-term impact yun.
Actually, kaya higher suicide rate ang lalaki. Kasi binuo kami ng
Kasi
society
parang
na kailangan lang
pent
magpatigas.
up lahat. Tapos, tinan mo, kaya system din yung kailangan mag-change. Tapos, natutuwa lang yung sistema or yung basically yung gobyerno natin. Yung like, kung sino man yung nakaupo in power. Kasi, comes with responsibility ba, na pag-away-awayin. Na parang, hindi nyo kasi kami naiintindihan. Pero ang reality is, there needs to be systems in place so that both, like, all genders feel supported. Kasi, yun nga like, ang nangyayari tuloy, sinisisi ng bawat isa. Ang nangyayari is na hindi nyo kami naiintindihan kasi hindi kayo lalaki, so never nyo maiintindihan. May ganun ng, pero if we're welcoming in and if we're providing more tools in order for men and women and like transgender and everyone who's actually whatever gender they identify as are able to experience the same opportunities for them to get in touch with both like the emotional side, the physical side, the mental side, then they'll be able to also become a better person. That's
Totoo
really
yan,
my take. Talaga.
May dagdag ko lang din po yung kanina yung pinag-usapan natin, yung masculine and feminine. Na, yun nga po, kung kahit lagyan na natin siya sa science and biology, yung, kunyari, ang lahat ng babae meron din testosterone.
Yes.
Mas mataas lang ang estrogen nila kaysa sa testosterone nila. Ang lalaki, ganun din. Meron ding estrogen, may mga female hormones din ang babae, pero mas mataas lang yung ating testosterone. So parang ang point lang po nun is, yes, importante na in-tune tayo. So, kunyari, kung ako lalaki, in-tune ako sa masculine side ko. Napaka-importante rin na in-tune ka sa feminine side mo. Kasi yun yung babalansin ng mga bagay-bagay. Kung nasa feminine ang aggressiveness, ang pagiging kalma ang pagiging kalma nasa feminine. Kung yun nga, yung competitiveness nasa masculine, yung pagmamahal and peace nasa feminine. So parang sa ating mga tao, lalaki man babae, napaka-importante rin na tignan mo nga, kumbaga maging in tune ka, tignan mo yung mga mo na nire-reject mo. Kasi hindi po pagiging bakla yun, hindi pagiging yun. Kung titignan mo yun, kasi sa totoo lang, mas magiging in tune ka sa masculine mo kung magiging in tune ka rin sa feminine mo. Parang ganun.
And then and don't stigmatize it or don't take certain hindi naman sa don't care kasi nga
Gets.
again, bunga siya ng sistema natin. Pero it's a reminder that you are not an either or, you can't just be one. You can be everything that you like. You can get in touch with your masculine side, you can get in touch with your feminine side. It doesn't make you less or more of anything. You can just be going like both experiencing it, and that's fine. So kaya the same way na sorry, magpupunta na ako a little bit on gender, but na the same way na bakit ba G na G tayo to pag-away-awayin yung mga gender? Na ang reality is, ang goal lang naman natin dito is na lahat ng gender ay mabigyan ng equal rights.
Pare-parehong
Diba?
rights,
Na lahat na, both. Tapos, for example, transgender, women, men, na parang, please, like, bigyan natin sila ng opportunities for them to be able to advocate for their rights. Hindi lang siya na, parang, ibig sabihin, pag pinaglalaban ko, example lang pag pinaglalaban ko yung LGBTQIA rights, doesn't mean that I'm taking away. Balik talaga ako ng balik dun kasi that's really the narrative that I see. And that needs to evolve, that needs to change na we're taking anything from other genders just because we're fighting for our rights.
Hindi ganun.
We can kasi ilagay ko siya sa race, 'di ba? Parang I can be like you can be fighting for African American rights the same way that Asian rights can fight for their rights. It doesn't take away from
The blacks.
but if anything, it's just really educating and like getting to know more that everyone is looking for the same rights, 'di ba? So,
Gets, ako, ang isa lang fear ko rin dun sa, yung sa, hindi, ito pala, gusto ko lang ano rin yung, kaya may stigma ang mga, lalo na mga Pinoy, sa mga tibak.
yes!
Merong
My
hate.
gosh.
Pero ang gusto ko nga lang po sabihin, guys, sa totoo lang, lahat po ng karapatan na tinatamasa nyo ngayon na masaya, na feeling nyo na okay kayo, dahil po sa mga tibak na naglaban dati para sa mga karapatan natin. Isipin nyo po dati, slavery legal. Yung mga aktivista po na lumaban para sa slavery, sila po yung rason kung bakit tayo ganito ngayon. So parang siguro po maging objective lang din sa pagtingin na kung hindi kayo nag-agree sa mga pinaglalaban ng yun po yung doon tayo mag-focus sa arguments, doon tayo mag-focus sa dialogues, doon tayo mag-focus sa topic. Huwag kayong mag-focus na porket aktivista yan, ganyan yan, marami reklamo yan. Hindi ganoon kasi napaka-importante ng activism talaga. Totoo lang.
Yeah, and it's the narrative that has been embedded the same way na yung narrative of the culture of impunity. Grabe. So, wow, medyo bumibigat na yung pinag-uusapan natin.
Sige.
Pero, totoo yun, to your point, na there is an assumption or now there is a stereotype based on sa kung paano create yung narrative na yun na pag aktivista ka, gusto mong pabagsakin yung gobyerno, nanggugulo ka, like,
Reklamador.
Reklamador ka, tapos, puro ka laban ng laban, pero like, di naman siya nakalubog dun sa kung ano dun yung mga iba na okay naman sila, masaya naman daw sila. Ang hindi naiintindihan na the whole foundation of activism is to fight for everybody's
Everybody
rights.
talaga. Totoo yun.
Meron lang sarili-sariling, parang sa same way na sa pagdodoktor, may sarili-sariling specialization. Kung baga, di ba, na parang, or kahit sa law, pag may kanya-kanya, parang criminal law, pwede kang tech lawyer, pwede kang like, di ba? So parang, or tax law, di ba? So, ganun din ang activism na you're really fighting for the rights. Tapos, namimili lang yung mga activists na kung ano yung gusto nilang ipaglaban kasi naniniwala sila dun sa advocacy, dun sa mismong ideologies that they're fighting for. And that's what they're yun yung isinusulong nila. So, hindi nila sineserve yung sarili nila. Sineserve nila yung exactly, ng isang pangkalahatan. So, I think nagkaroon na lang din ng stigma because of the narrative that has been evolving or has been being created na pag aktivista ka, manggugulo ka, or gusto mo lang na, tapos it defeats the purpose and more importantly, it ruins the whole, yung totoong pundasyon ng aktivismo. Tapos, yun yung mas doon ako nalulungkot.
Pero to be fair din naman, babalik lang din tayo doon sa sinabi mo kanina na na may nagiging problema rin kasi siguro sa ways ng mga activist kung bakit nga nagkakaroon ng rejection, defensiveness, nagkakaroon ng hate. So
Going back, yes, definitely. Kasi nga, going back, let's welcome in, let's not alienate. Kaya balik tayo sa ganun. Kasi ang challenge din sa activists ay, at least my observation is that marami kasi sa mga aktivista ay, of course, ideally gusto natin lahat galing sa kung ano yung naranasan, di ba? But there are also activists that are coming from middle class.
Ay,
Marami.
Mas marami
Tapos na, so kung kunwari sa revolusyon, mabalik na ako. Di ba, may kanya-kanya naman tayong role na piniplay. Kung ang role mo sa revolution ay ikaw yung taga-provide ng bahay, ikaw yung taga-provide ng pagkain sa mga katipunero, it doesn't make you less of a katipunero. You're still a katipunero. You're still a katipunera. Iba lang yung role na ginagawa mo. So, I think we just need to get back to our roots. Very oversimplify ko to. Pero, yun lang talaga yung goal kasi at the core of activism, you just need to remind activists that there are different roles that we play in order to push for the rights that we want or for the advocacy that we want. And recognizing all of those roles. Kung meron kang funder, meron kang producer, kung baka sa music, meron kang creators, meron kang frontliners, the more that you welcome people in, that's when you start community building, diba? Then because of that, you're also letting people know that you're shifting the narratives to show that activism is in its core is good. It's to help educate, to help push for the rights that we want to, or the advocacies that we want to push for everyone to experience.
Maidagdag ko lang din dun sa sinabi mo sa katipunero. Yun nga, yung babalik ko lang dun sa activist, yung hate sa activism. Na ngayon, kung tignan natin, yung mga aktivista, parang galit na galit yung mga tao nga, na ganun-ganun. Tapos kung paano natin i-praise yung mga national heroes natin. Sa totoo lang, yung mga national heroes natin, yung mga katipunero, literally are activists.
Exactly right.
Mga estudyanteng nakapag-aral tapos namulat.
Yeah, meron ako isang kanta. Tapos, the title of the song is K. Tapos it's a wordplay. K. Kasi wordplay siya actually. When I wrote this, it's really at the height of the war on drugs. Tapos, I had so much emotions. I had so many emotions. And then, K is one of the expressions that's constantly been used that it also irritates a lot of people when pag naka-receive ka ng word na K lang, parang kabado ka na, diba? Regardless kung ano ka, kung kaibigan ka, kung katrabaho mo, kaboss mo, jowa mo, pag nakatanggap ka ng K, parang
meron.
Like either may problema ba or ba't ang ikli naman nito mag-reply or ang snob naman nito. Ang daming mga different. So, it was a play on K, but it's actually the more ang goal ko doon was to represent what it means. Tapos, KKK, as in ang katipunan natin. Tapos, KKK, dahil sobrang ganda talaga ng Filipino language.
Totoo.
K yung title ng song ko, and then it talks about kalayaan, katarungan, kapayapaan. And what it means in the generation of, for this generation today. And then, it specifically focuses on sino ba yung mga bagong bayani. So, basically, going back tayo dun sa sino ba yung mga makabagong aktivista. Tapos, in the end, the whole point is, ikaw yun.
Ikaw nga yun. Totoo yun.
So, like ganun, mahilig kasi ako sa storytelling, tsaka sa, putting meaning to my songs. But also, again, going back tayo sa, kita mo, ang dami kong kailangan ko siya explain. Ibig sabihin, ang goal ko dapat, to better my craft in order to be a better, quote-unquote, activist, is that I make it more simple so that I don't have to explain, so people understand from the get-go what I'm trying to say.
Ayan. Yan yung pinaka-importante na i-general na lang natin sa lahat ng knowledge, sa lahat ng information. Napaka-importante talaga na simple. Yun din yung sinusubukan kong maging identity ni podcast na we're talking about complicated things, deep things, and mga kung ano namang mga komplikadong bagay. Pero I try to present it as
In a
simple as
simple.
possible.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Like,
Oo.
same. Kasi sa akin, uh, the hardest thing to do is to simplify
Totoo,
things. The
oo.
most complex thing to do is simplify things. And there is, at least like how I see it, may sometimes people people associate or nakikita nilang same or synonymous yung simple sa
Mababaw.
easy.
Oo.
No,
Ay,
easy,
easy.
simple
Okay.
and easy. No.
Hindi.
Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. Kasi kaya paulit-ulit nga kasi kahit balagay natin sa Tagalog, ang simple ay simple,
Mm.
ang easy ay
Madali.
madali. Hindi dahil sa spelling. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka nahirapan gawin yung mga bagay na yun.
Oo.
Ang simple is na simple siyang intindihin.
Oo.
Kaya mong nguyain, kaya mong maintindihan nang hindi kailangan na mapalabok na words or
Oo.
highfalutin words. That's simple. Kaya sobrang hirap pasimplehin yung mga bagay kasi kadalasan mabibigat yung kailangan nating
Pag-usapan.
Oo,
Totoo
pag-usapan.
yun,
Ano ba ang constant thing in life? Suffering.
Suffering, oo.
So, grabe, sorry.
Sige lang.
Going back ako si Albert Camus,
Albert Camus.
isa sa mga favorite
Favorite
ko
philosopher ko yan.
So, exactly. So, nung growing up, isa yun sa mga paulit-ulit ko like ko quote yung Tale of Sisyphus.
The Myth of Sisyphus. Favorite ko
Kasi
lagi na sinasabi yan.
Kasi, di ba, the constant thing in life is suffering. And then, you have to imagine Sisyphus happy. Kasi, the reality is na buong time so I associate it a lot with how activism works or like how
Bigyan mo lang din
advocacy
sila ng context kay yung sa ni Sisyphus.
Okay, so kasi sige. So si Sisyphus, pinarusahan siya. So ang parusa sa kanya is na habang buhay, immortal kasi siya. So hindi siya ever mamamatay. Pero buong buhay niya, ang gagawin lang niya, may malaking boulder. Tapos irorolyo lang niya yung boulder hanggang sa taas ng bundok. Tapos rorolyo pabalik yung boulder. Tapos uulit na naman niya. Isipin mo kung sa sobrang bleak nung existence na ganun, you have to imagine Sisyphus happy. Because you cannot otherwise. So, tapos I try to see it. Tapos balik tayo sa religion kasi diba sinasabi nila na si Jesus or si God na like mas nare-reward yung mga nagsasuffer more. Kaya nga the whole na may debate on na do we cultivate poverty? Kasi may promote poverty kasi ibig sabihin ng suffering. Okay? Sorry, nagtahi-tahi na naman ako.
Okay lang.
Pero that's how I see activism also. Yung kay Sisyphus na kailangan mong imaginein na mas na happy si Sisyphus sa ginagawa niya because if you don't, it's just so heavy, it's just so bleak and for me that's how I see because real activism is accepting that you will not see the change that you are fighting.
Totoo yan.
Kasi ang reality, para magbago, for the world to change, you need at least to even change and it's not even a guarantee for the better you'll change.
Oo, yun nga.
You need at least 50 years of
Totoo yan.
groundwork. To feel the impact of the change, you need to at least have 100 years. You will not see everything that you're fighting for.
Totoo yan.
So that's why kaya ko siya ina-associate
Kay
sa
Sisyphus.
Sisyphus, yung activism. Because that's the kind of work that you go through when you choose to actually do advocacy work. Yung the reality of it. At kung tatanggalin mo talaga yung ego mo sa sarili. Like, because the reality is, lahat ng tao may id, may ego na, diba? Sorry, a little bit naman pabalik ng psychology. Pero na when you are aware that ego is at play and you want to make sure that you make decisions na hindi ego mo yung pinaiiral mo. It's so sidelining yourself and sidelining your ego and your emotions. That then it becomes clear to you ano ba yung pundasyon. Kaya ako paulit-ulit sa foundation, dapat nakalubog ka sa kung ano yung talagang gusto mong gawin. Kasi I think real activism is not aspiring to be recognized for what you're
It's
fighting
not about
for.
you, eh.
It's really about being able to make sure that the fight continues even
Totoo
when
yan.
you're gone.
Mm.
So, kaya pag tinatanong ko pa ulit, bakit ka ba lumalaban? Or like, bakit mo ba gusto? Tapos minsan nga, napapaisip ako na hindi ko na ba deserve. Kasi may ganong imposter syndrome also na, baka hindi na ako aktivista. Like, baka hindi na kasi, parang nag-sell out na ako siguro kasi ngayon balik
Corporate,
na ako
oo.
ng corporate. And that was a long process for me to accept. And sometimes it's still resurfaces kasi ang reality is we can only fight for something that we advocate for kung may resources tayo. So, ang reality is, pag sikmura na ang tumawag sa'yo, dahil wala ka ng pera, wala ka ng, you have to take care of that. Because
Survival
the
talaga
survival
muna,
ka muna. So, yun yung mga moments na napapaisip ako na, does it make me
Less of an activist.
Then, dun ko na pinapasok na, pero bakit naman sa music, ganun, may take kasi ako sa music na, the reason why I've never given up on music, aside from, it is part for me ng therapy talaga for me na, music for me is healing, na, because I don't see music as, my motivation or yung goal ko for my music is not for me to get famous or na makilala ako or marami akong fans or marami akong followers. I see, and it's not a phase for me also. Na sa akin, hanggang nabubuhay ako, may musika ako. Like, as cliche as that sounds.
So,
But because I think of that, doon ako nagkaroon ng resolve when it comes to activism also, na it doesn't make you less of an activist. It's just, you're just in a different chapter in your book. And sometimes that chapter might not have hindi man yung main characters, baka iba. Tapos sa next chapter, nandun siya ulit. Like yung,
totoo. Di, tsaka yung songs mo na mga ginawa mo for activism, di naman nawala eh. And yun, bilang yun yung product mo sa activism mo, di yun pa rin yun. Yun pa rin. Pero ako, yan lang din kasi ang ko sa, kaya ako, I don't like defining myself. Hindi ako nagde-define kung leftist ba ako, kung Christian ako, or atheist ako, agnostic ako. Kasi ang para sa akin, yun, well, language is beautiful, but para rin sa akin, language is limiting. Na parang, yun nga, yung kung sasabihin mo na, tunay ba akong aktivista? Technically, ano ba talaga ang tunay na aktivista? Ang daming pwede maging definition ng tunay na aktivista. Ano ba ang tunay na Kristiyano?
and who are you to say technically,
Oo.
di ba? Na parang, very subjective.
Very
Kasi at the end of the day, they're all mga konsepto silang lahat
Oo.
that we're trying to make sense of.
Totoo. So parang ililimit mo rin yung sarili mo. So parang, ang pinaka-prado, just be true to yourself and be true to your devotion. Parang, di ba? Sige.
And then, sorry, naalala ko
Okay.
lang dun sa... At saka, dahil naisip ko yung sa concept, yung isa na naman kay Kamu na favorite ko, yung absurdity.
Absurdity.
Diba? Kasi na parang yung pagiging irrational ng tao, it really starts from, yung absurdity, nag-start talaga siya dun sa debate ng tao between seeking for happiness and seeking for reason. Tapos only to find it. Have you read that
Yeah,
part na parang
happiness ba or meaning?
oo, meaning.
or
Tapos, yung absurdity, dun mo nakikita kasi in the search for human needs, tapos yung absence ng unreasonable world or silence
Yes.
lang. So,
Oo.
dun talaga na parang, totoo nga. Sobrang, yun yung yun yung, wala lang. Dahil dun sa
Babalik at
concepts.
babalik lang din dun sa kanina na parang technically yung sa sinasabi mo na ang activist talaga hindi mo makikita yung fruits ng labor mo eh. Kasi yun nga, it takes a long time eh. So parang technically, it's not about you. Pero at the same time, yun nga, yung parang kung titignan mo nga siya on a surface level, parang technically, kung hindi mo na natamasa yung pinaglalaban mo, wala. Parang senseless, di ba? Pero nga kasi yun nga yung papasok ulit na parang kung surface level o sa perspective man ng external, wala siyang sense. Pero sa'yo, the mere fact na gusto mong ginagawa mo at patuloy sa'yo at alam mo yung pwedeng maging effect in the future ng ginagawa mo at yung paniniwala mo sa ginagawa mo, parang enough reason na yun to find purpose and meaning in what you're doing kahit hindi mo makita yung resulta o hindi mo siya matamasa. Parang yung cause mo kung bakit mo siya ginagawa is enough na para maging meaningful yung buhay mo. Kasi dati naging tanong ko rin yan sa activism na parang, sabi ko kasi naglalaban sa akin yung individualism. Tsaka yung activism or parang yung identity politics, parang gano'n. Yung parang, ano ba, magpapaka-individualist ba ako na parang ako na lang bahala sa buhay ko, paunlarin ko sarili kong buhay, para pag kung matapos man na yun. Pero mauwi ka pa rin na parang, well, kahit gawin ko yun, yung mga para sa akin na individualistic things, what does it mean? What does it mean to have lots of money? What does it mean to have? So parang nauwi pa rin ako na parang, ikaw ang gagawa ng purpose mo sa buhay. Hindi dictated ng iba, hindi dictated ng society. Kung ano yung nakikita mong meaning, kung ano yung nakikita mong purpose mo, yun yung ginagawa mo. Kung kasama yun yung pagpayaman, edi go. Kung hindi, edi. So parang, para sa akin, na parang, though senseless and wala na makikita, parang nauwi pa rin ako. Na individualism and collective, pareho lang importante na of service kang tao. Na parang kung of service ka, panigurado magiging meaningful talaga yung buhay mo. So para maging fulfilled individual ka rin, kailangan mo rin talagang mag-serve on a bigger purpose, parang gano'n.
Yeah, and it's sobrang agree ako dun sa part na it's really finding meaning, diba, in your existence. And it's a human, to find meaning. Because what's the point kung diba, bakit na,
mamatay.
kasi, so, oh my gosh, going back na naman kay Camus, na,
Magaling si Camus kasi talaga.
na talaga nung isa sa mga quotes na sinabi niya na, the reason for living is also a great reason of dying.
Of dying, oo. Totoo yun. Tsaka magkaka-sense lang din yung pamumuhay mo kung dahil namamatay ka. Kasi kung infinite ang buhay, wala ring sense lang.
Hindi, tsaka the same way kung bakit minsan, bakit there are people who decide to commit suicide. Because the reality is, the same reasons why, the finding a reason to live is also a great reason to die.
To die. Yeah, totoo yan.
Sorry, oh my God. Pero yes, gano'n. Tapos, going back lang dun sa yung sinabi mong individualism tsaka collective. Sobrang, it reminds me of, I don't know if you read Murakami. Pero
Hindi masyado, pero aware ako
yung
sa kanya.
dun sa isang book niya na Norwegian Wood, gustong-gusto ko yun nung nabasa ko na if only you can read everything that everyone reads, then you can think and then think what everybody thinks. Tapos connect ko lang siya dun sa, kasi ang interesting nun kasi it actually talks about perspectives, but it opens up a lot kasi open to interpretation naman siya. So kung paano mo ano yung nakita mong meaning dun sa kung ano yung sinasabi niya dun sa pagkakasulat niya. Pero ako, at least for me, how I interpreted it is, it's so hard to be able, kung pwede lang how I interpreted it is na kung pwede lang na makuha ko, na mabasa ko lahat ng binabasa ng mga tao para makita ko din kung paano sila nag-iisip, kung paano sila. Kasi then, it all goes back to, para even makarating ka sa collective, kailangan mo talaga mag-individualistic muna eh. Kasi the same way na, being selfish is not exactly bad. Because everything that you do, and even the wanting to become selfless, which is less of yourself and more for others, it starts with the root word self
pa rin,
and you need to focus first on you in order for you to even identify how you can be less of yourself and be more for others. So, going back lang dun sa sinasabi mo na yung individualism and collective. Kasi I feel like, again, going back lang sa, hindi siya kailangan na either or.
Yun, totoo yun.
Pwedeng parehas mo
sabay
siyang.
sila eh.
Exactly.
Parang, para maging fulfilled ka nga, kailangan nagsiserve ka sa collective. And kung nagsiserve ka sa collective, ang pangit naman kung hindi ka fulfilled individual. So, para siyang, it's a synergistic siya. Totoo.
Tapos, sorry, going back lang sa, balik lang tayo a little bit dun sa activism. Kasi, nung dun nga sa yung focusing on the purpose of being an activist or activism in its tas I feel like your encounter with activism, regardless if you identify as one, if you've ever thought about being one, or like, kasi nga, again, limiting yung word na activism, di ba? So, ako, nilate ko siya a lot with how, ito, Kafta on the Shore ata to, na Murakami din, na, specifically, there is a quote there that talks about how, when the storm comes, you don't even remember how you got through it, how you survived it. Hindi ka nga even sure kung tapos na ba yung storm. But what you know for sure is that you are never the same
Totoo yun.
after that. So parang
Totoo
ako, yun yung ibig ko sabihin with activism or any, going back, ang pasimpleng ano dun is na pag namulat ka na, kasalanan ng pumikit. So, dun naman sa, I think dun kasi very prescriptive yung kasalanan ng lumikit.
Oo,
diba?
yun,
So
totoo
like,
yan, oo.
which is, I also do subscribe to that, but more like at least the lighter way to go about it or how I see it or a different way. Sorry, hindi naman lighter. Wow, it's like saying deeper to. Wag ganon, wag ganon. So parang ganun yung intindi ko din nung nagsisimula pa lang ako, tapos nung nabasa ko yan, yung part na yun nung yung logic ni Murakami on when it comes to storm. Na it's not so much like hindi mo nga alam eh. The same way with how you encounter concepts and how you think about it na basta ang alam mo lang for sure na you've changed completely. Can be for the better, can be for the worse, but what's for sure is that you're no longer the same person who first encountered the storm coming out of it.
Totoo, tsaka po Friedrich Nietzsche talaga, na parang what doesn't kill you makes you stronger eh. Na parang talagang lahat naman na parang technically yung struggle and meaning magkasama sila. Sa bawat struggle na gagawin mo talaga, it kahit sa evolution na lang, sa biology. Kaya nag-evolve ang mga species kasi nagkakaroon sila ng harsh environment na kailangan nila mag-survive dun. So nag-a-adapt sila. So technically, literally talaga, na bawat struggles na pinagdadaanan mo at pinipili mong pagdaanan, tinatransform ka niya talaga into being a better person. Parang gano'n. Into evolving. Parang gano'n. Ano naman, punta naman tayo ng onti sa woke culture.
Okay.
Kasi, technically, di ba, talaga naman ang galing ang woke culture because of activism din. So, parang siya yung lahat naman ng bagay, parang asabab sa bilawang paniniwala ako sa lahat ng bagay. Lahat ng bagay, may good outcome and bad outcome. Good acts have bad outcome and good outcome. So, parang, sa activism, yun ang napansin kong technically medyo naging bad outcome nga. Yung woke culture na, may masabi kang isang mali na labas sa current status quo ng morality or consciousness ng tao, lahat na ng ginawa mo buong buhay mo, ginudge ka na dun sa isang bagay na sinabi mo. Which is, pangit naman. Para in my perspective, pangit. Kasi, hindi ka pwedeng i-reduce into a word or a statement or anuman. So, parang, kunyari, sa perspective ng activism, paano ba natin na-navigate na may iwasan natin yung pag-proliferate ng woke culture o ma-contain natin si woke culture, and at the same time na ipapaglaban pa rin yung mga karapatan ng tao?
It's tricky. I'll try to answer this in two ways. Kasi, in two ways. Or baka more ways, we're not sure. Because I think on one hand, yes, let's talk about activism. But also, meron din kasing malaking factor na how the society has evolved also. Bakit ko siya sinasabi? Kasi, paulit-ulit ako nakikipag-usap tungkol sa narrative kanina. Kasi ang laking part niya dun sa pag-proliferate ng fake news, narratives are so powerful, they're so potent. If you've created a narrative so strong, it can ruin lives. It can ruin countries. Ganong level siya. Like what happened to the Philippines and what's happening in the US at the moment.
Mm.
It's the power of narrative.
Yeah.
And with great power, as cliche as it sounds, comes with great responsibility, and in the wrong hands. So it's the same with how the woke culture is at the moment. Kaya ako sinasabi na two parts ko siya titignan kasi yung dun sa activism part, I think that's an easier answer for me kasi the way that we make sure that we don't just cancel people out from the activists' point of view, is that to also get ourselves out of the high horse, or also make sure that we make an effort to not be the thing that we hate most,
Totoo yun.
which is basically like, ito lang yung dapat, ito lang yung very dogmatic na almost like lahat ng mga ayaw natin sa religion, ayaw natin sa, for example, like very conservative way of going about things, is don't turn to be the ones that you are like. So I think the way to navigate through that and try to veer away from like canceling everything that's been na parang ang ano is na nagpopulis ka na forever ng lahat, is to remind yourself what you were actually fighting
Totoo
for.
yun.
Also get outside of your echo chambers. Tapos more importantly, mag-community building ka ulit. Kasi what does community building? Ang core ng activism is to build communities.
Yeah.
'Di ba? To actually like get people to also believe
Push.
in the same advocacies. And community building means getting to know your audience, getting to know the people that you want to serve.
Totoo.
And kung nandiyan na kayo sa the way that you can get out from the canceling constantly lahat ng ano, and you're also giving a chance and empathizing, is to go back to the roots, which is lumubog ka completely, hindi yung temporary lang na okay, 2 months ako dito tapos na.
Oo.
Hindi, like get to know the current situation now, get to know the tao now, 'di ba?
Totoo yun.
Very con yung get to know the tao now. Get to know the people
Oo.
that you're trying to serve now, because they matter. Example yan, kung Gen Z ay part nun, kilalanin mo sila.
Yeah.
Huwag mo silang husgahan na ano ba to, ang weak, like ano, kasi kung gaganon-ganon ka, never mo makikilala, hindi wala
oo.
nang point. So,
Totoo yan.
that's one. That's the first. Kaya sabi ko, mas madali siyang sagutin. Society-wise. This is harder because yung makinarya ng fake news and yung makinarya
Malakas.
ng creating narratives of what is right
Oo.
and what is not right is so big, it's harder to identify what the actual truth is. Right? And ang hirap niyang i-combat kasi ang nangyayari right now sa cancel culture is that it's a woke culture. It's a woke culture and cancel culture. Kasi parehas yun magkaiba sila, pero
Pero
bunga
halos
din
pareho.
sila din sila ng isa't isa. So hindi sila magkaparehas completely, pero they parang symbiotic in
Symbiotic
relationship
sila,
nila.
oo.
Tsaka byproduct din sila ng isa't isa.
Totoo.
So the way to combat that is to also actually make conscious effort to open conversations. So dito yung part na to, nag-work yung Switzerland. Alam mo yun, yung nag-work dito yung maging diplomatic
Maging
ka.
maging-
Oo, kasi the way to go about it is to really hear all of the sides, 'di ba?
Totoo.
Tapos instead of like canceling out, because going back tayo sa core or dun sa due process, 'di ba?
Totoo.
Until proven guilty.
Oo.
Ito medyo hot take to. Example, ako, ang isa sa mga bagay na para sa akin, nag-work ang cancel culture. Isa lang is if proven that a particular person is involved in pedophilia,
Yeah.
in like, the reason why I specifically shared that, because like pedophilia and rape, like talagang sobrang lala na yung impact niya talaga sa tao is to ruin lives, right? But on the other hand, what we need to be very careful of is automatically placing a verdict
Trial
on
by
a person, like basically trial by social media,
trial by publicity.
by publicity, because this is very scary kasi ito talaga yung nag-cultivate ng cancel culture. people constantly canceling only to find out
Hindi naman pala.
eventually in the long run that
Mahirap doon kasi tainted
tapos,
na forever
exactly,
yung
tas
reputation
kawawan
mo
yun
eh.
ng kawawan.
Oo.
Ano yung mga naging sobrang laking impact nito na I would give examples for? Sobrang ano nito, pero like, yung pinaka-ano ko kunwari sa showbiz muna tayo. Showbiz.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Tapos, hindi lang yun. Meron pang version yan sa Pilipinas. Andy Eigenman.
Gets.
Like,
Sa
Albi
tatay
Casino
nila,
at
oo.
saka Ejercito.
Si
So like,
Albi, oh.
so even though like they were all young, best of intentions or whatever it was, whatever the intention was, may lasting impact. So ibig sabihin, pwedeng ayoko pa rin si Albi. Again, going back, hindi ko siya kilala, hindi ko siya gusto, for me to say, hindi ko siya gusto. Pero just giving the situation, kunwari, kahit pa-hate ko si Albi,
Oh.
pangit yung naging bunga ng kasi that is
Sinira
an example
talaga siya,
of talagang nasira mo na talaga yung
Sinira yung
career
buhay,
regardless kung mabuti ka na ngayon, kung ano yung man yung nag-change person ka man, to tell Albi to move on is technically talagang hindi mo na makababawi yung nasayang
Yung
na
nasaya,
mga
oo.
diba, na opportunities. Of course, you don't know kung talaga bang nagkaroon ng opportunities and whatever. So that's one. Next is yung impact niya, for example, dun sa mga as bad as na lahat na lang ng drug addict mamamatay tao.
Oh,
That's why
yun ang
that's why I'm
delikado.
just saying na ang hirap niya kasi until now yun yung nakikita natin na
Oo,
it's
totoo.
a dividing sobrang maano to kasi mainit ngayon
Oh,
yung
lalo
lahat
mainit ngayon
nangyayari,
nangyari
no?
kay
Pero
Duterte.
for example, the narratives that are circulating online are that grabe yung nakita ko na hindi ka pinaglalaban niyo yung lahat ng mga victims ng drug war, pero paano yung lahat ng mga naging biktima ng mga drug addict ng ganun.
Oo.
No one is saying na deserve ng mga drug addict na pumatay,
Oo.
na yung mga pumatay, meaning yung mga talagang
Yung mga
na-find
talagang,
out
oo.
na pumatay talaga ng mga inosenteng tao. We're not saying that we should protect them, that we should not, like, we should cover up for them. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is na dapat lahat ng tao na bibigyan ng chance na magkaroon ng due process na
process
mag-explain. Tapos more importantly, ang buong laban or ang buong pinaglalaban ngayon on the war on drugs is that hindi nabigyan ng pagkakataon lahat ng drug addict to even make a case for it.
Oo.
At the tao sila. Pero and more importantly, kaya titingnan siya na it wasn't really a war on drug, war on drugs, it was a war on poverty.
Poverty, kasi puro mahihirap
puro
talaga
lang
biktima
mahihirap. Tapos hanggang ngayon, lahat ng mga drug lord na mayayaman,
Nandiyan
sila
pa rin.
yung, hindi sila nakulong, hindi sila na, parang, so, grabe, very, very costly yung ganong klaseng woke
Narrative,
narrative. Kasi
oo.
ibig sabihin, ginawa mo, nag-create ka ng narrative that puts activists and also puts any person who is against killing another human being as people
supportive
who
ng
are
mga-
woke. Hindi kayo what I mean. So like, yun yung mas mahirap na kailangan ayusin kasi nag-create ng sobrang potent na narrative na lahat ng taong lumalaban para sa karapatang pantao ay woke at lahat sila kailangan nating i-cancel kasi
Totoo.
nasobrahan na sila ng liberties, nasobrahan na sila ng democracy, kailangan na natin silang i-cancel. Itim. Tapos parang ako, like yun talaga yung kaya sabi ko, paano ko ba siya sasagutin? Kasi yung isang part, mas madaling pag-usapan in terms of how do activists protect themselves from themselves, right?
Oo.
And then to actually go to the actual foundation of what activism is. On the other hand, yung lalanong narratives, kasi yun talaga yung nagko-cultivate right now na ang woke culture. Kasi again, the fact na nakikita mo siya na na-associate mo yung woke culture sa activism, sobrang powerful. Kasi ibig sabihin, kahit ikaw, nakikita mo siya, at kahit ako, nung sinabi mo, umuo ako na yes. Kasi ibig sabihin, naging effective talaga na ang association ng woke culture ay activism.
Activism. Oo.
Tapos parang ako, oy, hindi naman talaga.
Hindi
So,
yun.
ibig sabihin, grabe yung narrative. Tapos, plus, going back dun sa kung gaano kadelikado yung mga ganong narratives. Because, again now, nagka-cancel na tayo ng mga tao na hindi pa nga napapatunayang guilty.
Totoo yun.
Tapos, dun ako hirap kasi when it comes to, when we talk about, so, sinabi ko kanina yung
Pedophilia,
i-close ka lang.
Oo.
Yung pedophilia and sexual abuse, basically, like, lalo na yung pinaka-heavy, which is rape. Because making a statement that you are raped, that someone is so powerful that it ruins lives. It doesn't help if everyone else has already created like nakapagbigay na sila ng final
Judgment.
verdict, ng judgment.
Oo.
Tas dun ako doesn't sit well with me because sa akin at the end of the day it needs to be due process. So
Due
kunwari
process
ngayon
talaga.
pag kunwari may mga lumalabas na balita na for example may nang rape or may nang ito na pagbalitaan na
Abuser.
hindi na pedophile
Okay, gets.
na
Oo.
pedophile na talagang nang mamolest siya ng mga bata. I really read kamusta yung naging process, ano yung tiningnan, ano yung mga... It's not to say na parang kung one time mo lang siya gawin, chance. Of course not. Just to be clear, I'm not in any way maging apologist for people. I'm just saying na we need to be very careful on how we really filter and read through. Kasi kung tayo mismo yung nagsasabi na nang hindi pa natin, ibig sabihin, nagiging complicit din tayo sa fake news.
sa
Kasi ibig
problema,
sabihin, ang nangyayari is, nagka-cancel din tayo lahat. Sumasama tayo lahat. Unang hindi naman natin pala alam kung
Totoo ba?
Tapos nakakaduwin siya ng
Buhay.
buhay.
Oo, totoo yun. Ang
Yun
point lang
talaga.
talaga doon siguro, kung magbibigay ka ng opinion mo at lahat, huwag ka maging tamad. Dapat educated opinion eh. Oo.
Basta ka,
Oo.
yun yung ano talaga. Kasi, doon ako, I don't feel comfortable about. Lalo na yung sa cancel culture na part na, kasi kaya wag tayo dun sa ganung, labas tayo dun sa yung sobrang bigat na topics. Dun sa, kahit yung dun sa, yung example, kunwari artista ka, tapos, hindi pala kunwari, nangyayari nga siya talaga. So, para sa mga artista or sa public figures, na dahil sobrang iba na kung ano yung mundo ngayon versus kung ano yung mundo 10 years ago, let's say, or even 15 years ago, a comment about like, kunwari,
Yung
gay,
hinuhukay.
or like, tapos, or like, ano pala, nag-white face or nag-black face, ganun. Tapos, kasi doon ako iffy a little. Kasi, I understand you got it from before. Pwede mo silang husgahan. Kasi again, public figures naman sila. So like, I get it. They chose to like, pero, okay, you have to also take into consideration how old were they when they posted about that. Tapos
Totoo.
parang,
Tsaka context, ano ba yung
that's more
society nun?
diba? Tapos more importantly, was it an product of its time? Diba? So, tapos, and more importantly, did you see the character development or is the
Totoo.
person still the same as... Kasi pag ganun, ang unfair kasi ibig sabihin,
Oo, kasi
kinancel
husgahan ka
mo
na sa
na lang
dati mong ginawa.
lahat.
Lahat naman tayo, tanga dati.
Diba? Na parang, meron tayong mga stinatos na parang ngayon, cringe talaga. Pero for example, so balik ako ulit. Pero for example, kung yung level is na, kaya ako to sinasabi kasi, like for example, yung kay Neil Gaiman.
Yung sa ano, yung nagsulat ng ano. Saan ba? Basta ano siya, di ba?
Sandman, lahat,
Sandman,
lahat,
yun.
lahat ng, like, I used to be a fan of, pero like for example yun, sa akin, because it was, so ang hirap kasi, kahit binasa ko na lahat, tapos talagang may accounts talaga,
Meron
tapos
talaga,
talagang,
sakit.
tapos tinago pa for a long time. So sa akin, kahit gaano ko kamal yung work niya, it breaks my heart kasi para kang nagluksa for the person that you really
In-idolize
like.
mo eh, oo.
Not naman idolize, like meron din akong problem with idolatry kasi
Gets,
like so like I don't like idolizing
ako
people
rin,
kasi
din ako.
doon po nagsa-start yung fanaticism.
Fanaticism,
Going
oo.
back, so like nalungkot ako kasi I really did look up to him and I am a fan of his work. Like I did his work is inspiring. Like so it was heartbreaking kasi pagdating sa ganun, hindi ko din kaya na supportahan pa siya
Isa
knowing
pa
what
ako.
he did.
Totoo yun, totoo
So
yun.
like yun, sa akin, pag ganun, canceled talaga siya sa
Totoo.
akin. Pero before I even did that,
Nag-aaral ka.
kasi kahit sobrang bigat sa loob ko, I really looked through like all of the, yun lang.
Ako may dadagdag ko lang na sent dyan sa kabuuan na yung pagiging over ng cancel culture and woke culture. Actually, parang 2 weeks ago ko lang ata na to. Maganda lang na, actually, sa businessman ko siya nakuha. Galing din siya sa libro, sa 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Oh yes! Okay, ano dun?
Seek first to understand than to be understood. Napakasimple linya, andali. Subukan mo muna silang intindihin kasi mas makakagalaw ka kung paano mo ina-navigate para baguhin yung consciousness nila. Kung naiintindihan mo muna sila kung saan sila nanggagaling eh. So parang yung ang gandang reminder sa lahat ng tao, kahit hindi na sa activism, hindi na sa woke culture, sa lahat ng gagawin natin, sa pakikipagtungo natin sa ibang tao, seek first to understand than to be understood. Di ba? Parang yun.
Yeah, very important. Yung equivalent ko ng ganyan. Nabasa ka din yan.
Ah,
Pero yung equivalent ko din ng ganyan. Na same with
Oo.
yung seek to understand first. The same way na kaya communication is very important
Totoo yun.
for me. Kasi it can make or break relationships.
Mm.
Both. Lahat. Romantic, politika, lahat na. Tapos, sobrang importante sa akin na you don't just hear what other people are saying. You listen
You
to
listen.
them actively. Because the more that you listen, the more that you learn about the world
Totoo yun.
that
Totoo
you
yun.
live in. And the more that you learn about people, and then the more that you are able to understand them.
Totoo yun.
Yun.
Totoo yun. Siguro mga last few questions na lang, patapusin na natin to. Ikaw, para sa Pilipinas na lang.
Okay.
Una, saan mo nakikita yung magiging takbo in regards to social issues and all, ang Pilipinas in like around 10 years? Ganun.
Ang ikli. Okay. For me, kung ang nasan yung Pilipinas, recovering from the impact of everything that has happened in the last 15 years. Bakit ang ano nung 15 years? I'd say like 20 years. Sige, 20 years. Kasi 10 years from now, that's when we will feel the impact of what has happened for the last 3 administrations. So, which means the one in 2016, the one in 2022, and the one in 2028. So, dun natin makikita yung results, both the good and the bad. And in terms of sa Pilipinas, I hope at that point, I hope that the narratives have evolved. Sana.
For the better.
Sobrang for the better. Kasi I'm coming only from a space, again, like, hindi naman ako politiko, hindi naman ako, so like, I'm coming from a space, coming from a place. I'm coming from a place of someone who is part of advocacy work, who is also an artist, that considers herself as an artist, and also someone who is in the workforce
Totoo yan.
that experiences the impact of the system, from taxes that we don't feel, from the corruption that keeps happening, na taxes that we pay for and then in the end ninanakaw sa atin.
Totoo yan.
And dun sa system that is broken, that has not providing for the actual basic human rights natin, like healthcare system, education that's available and free and equal for all.
Totoo.
And then even sa justice system that is not updated. So my hope is that 10 years from now, the narrative has changed towards bettering. As in, ang ikli kasi ng 10 years
yan,
eh.
oo.
For me to expect that magbabago kung ano yung current unfortunately, it's not gonna change.
Suntok sa buwan.
I'm sorry. It's not even gonna move. Like where it is going to be, hopefully people get tired of the current situation of how the 2016, 2022, and 2028 turned out, and then try to do something about it.
Totoo yan.
Dun ko siya nakikita kasi by at that point, 10 years from now, which ngayon is 2025. So by 2035, it has at least been 20 years since it started. So at least medyo nandun na
May
sa
makikita.
waking up stage of like, did we make the right decision? Like as a society. Exactly. And how do we navigate through that and change it?
Gets. Punta na tayo sa last question.
Okay.
Yun nga, artist ka, and sa bawat art mo, you have a message. And activist ka, social worker ka, para sa'yo, kung i-condense mo lang in few paragraphs lang, ano ang mensahe mo talaga para sa lipunan?
Para sa lipunan?
Yeah. Kasama na dyan, syempre, magbubutuhan na. So, yung mga taong may onting kapangyarihan sa lipunan.
I think what I want to impart or kung ano man yung kagustuhan kong gawin and sabihin with my art is that we aspire to work towards bettering talaga. And then, it's not kasi one thing that I see. I want to send a message on bettering ourselves, bettering the systems that we are in. But in order for us to do that, we need to continue diving deep into basically lumubog ka sa kung ano yung mga nangyayari at the moment and really look into how we're gonna make things better. Kasi yun naman din yung how I create my music. I dive deeper. I work towards
Immersion.
immersing myself in whatever song that I write. And at the moment, I'm really in mental health. And so, andun talaga ako sa pagitan. Like, ganun ko siya talaga nakikita ng paghilom, ng pagpoproseso, kung paano ba ako, kung ano ba yung susunod. So, that's really my message that me as whatever it is that I'm working on or whatever it is I'm trying to push for, that it is geared towards the betterment. As cliche as that sound, na sana ay alam ko na, pagpapabuti at pagpapatuloy. Yun talaga. Kasi, 'di ba, ang goal ko lang talaga is mas maging mabuti yung kalagayan natin. At na magawa natin siya ng talagang matulungan natin lahat. Na yun lang talaga. Na I just want it na mas magawa natin yun yun yung gusto kong message na mag-come across sa lahat ng pinaglalaban.
Magpabuti at magpatuloy.
Kasi, sorry, hindi ko pala nasabi. Thank you. Hindi ko pala na sabi yung context nun. Kasi, going back dun sa lahat ng pinag-asapan natin kanina, at the core, it's understanding and accepting that you will not be here to see the change that you're aspiring for. So my goal is that I hope I leave a seed enough for it to continue. Gets mo? Grabe yung cliche. Like, sometimes it makes me feel really like an imposter kasi nga my armor kumbaga is art eh. So art doesn't change the world.
Totoo yan.
It doesn't change the world, but sabi nga sa Dakila, parang it starts the revolution. At least like it's a parang gas sa pagsisimula na. It's a fuel, diba? So it helps with creating the change that you want. Like it helps people to also connect on the advocacies that you want to fight for. So yun. Pagpapabuti at pagpapatuloy. Yun lang.
Napakaganda. Ja, maraming salamat
Thank
sa
you.
kwentuhan natin. Napakaganda. Ang sarap talaga makapagkwentuhan sa lista. No?
Wow, animo.
Animo, Lasal. Ja, maraming salamat talaga. Thank you.
Thank you.